Good evening, everybody. How are you? Coming at you for a Monday Night Live. I'm outside because it's beautiful, and I just finished watering the garden, finished feeding the horses, and then somebody's out roping the dummy because Dad said he could go to the branding and rope calves if he practiced. So he made him that dummy so that he could rope the dummy while he's sitting on a barrel. It gives him the idea of how what it's like when you're up on a horse. He's on a horse, but hasn't roped as much, right? So anyway, so what's the difference between us and everybody else? Just finished out Young Living convention, and it was really probably one of the conventions that I got the most out of, and I've been going since I don't know when. It's been a little while. I've gone to several of them. These last two, obviously virtual. But this last convention was one that I really got a lot of a true and deeper understanding of what makes Young Living different. And I know that we talk about our farms, we talk about the seed to seal, and sometimes it gets a little bit numb. People get numb to it. Like, it doesn't really, there's no wow factor there. What I find. They're like, well, then it goes to price. And I'm like, well, you get what you pay for, which is true in anything. It really doesn't matter what it is, whether it's clothing or whether it's the food you eat, you name it. So what I noticed in this last convention was the number of things that we are doing from a standards perspective that was absolutely amazing. First of all, we are doing, or we have partnered and done and offered, provided the frankincense to do cancer research. Dr. H.K. Lynn was someone who, when I first joined in, he was part of the Young Living team. He worked alongside Gary to understand the difference between like how modern medicine and nature's medicine have really, what the differences are, and how really he's seeing how through his years of research and working with Gary before Gary passed away, how when you work with essential oils and looking at the dynamics from a molecular level and the synergy between the plants is lots of aspects of the plant are used. And when it comes to modern medicine, they take one aspect of something and like peel the layers on that one thing. So when Dr. H.K. Lynn did his talk this weekend about the research they're doing with cancer, it was absolutely phenomenal, the results. I'll post a few of the pictures in the comments here, but it was amazing what they're doing. So what they're doing is this is just clinical, some trials that they're doing. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be the end-all, be-all, but the thing is they're doing it. And the things that he mentioned was the quality that was absolutely paramount in what they were doing. So he said that the frankincense that we extract from our farm in Oman, and it was sacred frankincense, and what they were doing, they were testing it at different levels of heat against cancer cells. They were testing so many different aspects. And the level of the detail that they went through, obviously, is very important. It was just absolutely, it was astonishing. It made me realize that the quality of the oils that we have goes down right to the deepest level. So, like for example, our Ecuadorian farm has over 70,000 of Ylang Ylang trees, like 70,000. They came out with a new collection here at convention that has Pica Ocotea. It has Inca Melissa, and then our Palo Santo, and one more. Oh, and Ylang Ylang. So out of that collection, they talked about the pica, for example. The Pica Ocotea is from the cinnamon family. We have Ocotea, but this one, they went and they found 25 different species of Ocotea. 25. That's huge, right? So they're going out in the jungle, out in Ecuador, just, foraging around to find different species. And 25 of the Ocotea species that they took, they had to work through and, find out how much material they would need to distill. And also like the Palo Santo that they put in that collection, the Palo Santo trees have to be they have to have naturally died. So they have naturally go through their life cycle. The tree has to have been dead, I believe, for 3 to 5 years, they said, for the palo santo oil to be of the quality that we need it to be. So how many companies that you know of, or do you know of any, that actually source the plants, or the dead plants, if you will, because palo santo has to be from the dead palo santo trees? How many will wait 3 to 5 years for that to happen? So that they can, after it's been dead for 3 to 5 years, to get the quality and the constituents of palo santo that we need in a standard bottle that we would have. We have the laboratories, we have the distilleries. And the other thing they do when they're in Ecuador is they actually go out into the community and they look to find the shaman and, the elders, and learn from them what those plants were for, how they used them, what the benefits they found from that perspective. That is the length that we will go to figure things out. Like how that sets us apart is absolutely, for me, it's outstanding, and it means everything. And so then when you think about the other new products that we've come up with, like the Thieves scrub, and I don't know if we can get that in Canada yet, but anyone in the US, obviously it's fair game, and it's a limited time only. I think they're going to try and see it, because a lot of people make their own scrubs. So what they're going to do is they're going to see how long or how it goes over, what people think, and go from there. But what they found is different materials, how it works, different forms of basically salts, like sodiums and like your baking soda and things like that, so that it actually does a really good scrub, right? It just goes to show that the difference in quality you're going to get is really what it's backed behind. So the soil's important for where we farm. The seed is important for what we, plant. And it goes right down to the distilling and everything else. And so as they talk more about the sustainability, for example, when they're harvesting any of the Melissa plants at the farm in Ecuador, where we get most of our Melissa. So this other Melissa that they found is another species, but it doesn't take as long to mature, which is really great. But what they found is, so that they can sustainably farm it, they actually cut it towards the top of the tree. And when they do that, it takes about 6 months and it will regrow. So not only is it sustainable for the environment and for the production of what we need, it took 2 years to figure out, between exploration, distilling, harvesting, and creating. It took 2 years to find out if we could sustainably provide the Pica Ocotea to the market. It took 2 years just to figure that out and to see how much we could actually provide out to the market. So that's amazing. But then the Melissa trees, not only is it sustainable for ongoing supply, which is really important, right? If more and more people are ordering our products, and the growth has been amazing, and because it's the quality, especially since last March, so many people reactivated because their accounts that maybe hadn't been, because they knew where to go for the tools that they needed. So with those trees being harvested at, every 6 months, and just the top, it also contributes to serving the community. They're providing work and employment to the people that are there. Like, how great is that, right? Not to mention the school that's there. The kids get to go out there, and I sponsor a little boy named Eder, and it's amazing. The school that they have there is phenomenal as well. So the last thing I wanted to share with you, which I thought was really great, I'm going to share that live that Greg Larson did. He was at our warehouse. So convention's just over. Product is all over. Like, everybody's getting excited about it. Everybody that ordered a convention product, they said, normally it takes, they say 7 to 10 business days. It's for it to arrive, and convention, expect double. And then, oh my gosh, he's just hollering. Can you please not holler? Anyways, they said what normally happens is there's a little bit delay because there's tons of people ordering product, which is great. Everybody's excited. They just went through over the last year changes to our warehouse, to packaging, to sorting, to getting things out. They have a really amazing robot that actually picks up the product and packages it. They got out. Convention just ended on Saturday, and they have 100% of the convention orders shipped. Packaged and shipped. Is that not surreal? Normally we have over 35,000 members that go to convention in person. In this case, there's millions of people that were watching, and anyone that had a ticket could order, right? So granted, everybody's delivery dates are different wherever you are in the world. So they have done some amazing work. The boxes actually get created. So they have this robot that actually sets up a box in 4 seconds. So not only is there less handling, there's less materials because it's designed for the size of the box. So more environmentally friendly. Another conveyor belt actually checks, it kind of squishes down in the box or presses down. It checks the box size and cuts off the extra in the box so they don't have to send as much plastic. The boxes aren't as big. It is phenomenal what they have done. They care about the environment. They care. There's over 700 people in the warehouse making things fly the way they do. And the fact that they really care about how much material is getting sent out, because then shipping is actually less. And yeah, so I know that's a lot of kind of all over the place, but I wanted to give you guys a really good understanding of the product you're getting has gone through a ton of research and thought and design and science and a lot of people's heart and soul that do this. The gentleman that works out in Ecuador now, that he's the global supply chain and basically sustainability manager, and that's his role, but he spends his time mostly in Ecuador. And the amount of research that they're doing to find different botanicals, and like in this case, the Inca Melissa that we have in the new Ecuadorian package that's out, the 4 oils that's in there. That one, I mean, that was something that they found when they go out into the jungle, and him and his wife are there, and they do it, you know, as a couple, and the things that we're able to source. You won't find that in an oil like Co-op or a PV Mart or the other department stores that sell oils or even some of the other companies. So I commend you for taking the time to look into Young Living and making the purchase and what you've got. I hope you feel really confident in. And if you have any questions about what you have and, you know, maybe where it comes from, you know, what farm or anything like that, by all means, please let me know, because I'm more than happy to share that. But yeah, so what they've done between supply chain and sustainability, all the new botanicals that they are finding and planting, 70,000 trees now of Ylang Ylang in Ecuador. And when you hit the platinum rank, you actually get an all expense paid trip to Ecuador. But when you're there, you actually are farming. You plant the Ecuadorian, the plants on the Ecuadorian farm. So you plant the Ylang Ylang, which is great because over the years, that's how they've got to the point of having over 70,000 Ylang Ylang trees. So anyways, that was my Monday Night Live, just to share with you what truly makes us a really big difference in every other, oil company that there is. And we're not just oils, right? So anyways, throughout the week, I'm going to share more of the science and whatnot. And again, more of the cancer research data that Dr. H.K. Lynn shared at convention. It was really amazing. So for a geek like me, it was great. It might bore you, but it was pretty powerful. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.